New Old Cavalry there from New Year's Eve 2014. Tear It Down. That was recorded up at, I think, Max's place in Bloomington. Just found out old Max's place closed. That's horrible. We used to go there back when I was in college, back in the good old days. Well, Alex Cavalry is calling in here. Alex Cavalry, are you on the horn?
Hey, how you doing, Rob? Great to be here.
Hey, man, how you doing tonight?
Hey, pretty good, man. Sitting here on a balmy southern Indiana day.
Yeah, it's starting to get really nice out there. What part of Indiana you live up in?
Down here in Bloomington. Been down here about 10 years now, man. I tell you what, it's a college town, but all the kids just love, so it's downright enjoyable now.
Oh, yeah, I went to school in Bloomington. Spent a lot of time up at the waterfall and up at Griffey Reservoir and down the parks and the Hoosier National Forest, of course.
Yeah, a lot of places around here, man. Go get lost, you know.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful part of town. I know when I went to the John Hartford Fest, that's the one thing I really liked is that drive up, up 46 and up through Nalbone and the shopping district, just to the hills, and it was really cool, man. I liked it. So,
it really is, man.
So we've got you on the line. You're a member of New Old Cavalry. Tell us what other members of the band weren't available tonight. Who else is in the band?
Well, right now, we've had some changes throughout the years, but right now it's me and two other founding members, Chris Dollar on the guitar and Justin Healy on the banjo. And we started that band about 8 years ago, something like that, 7, 8 years ago. And right now we've got a bass player that has been just, cutting wood. His name's Sean First out of Louisville, but right now it's just the four of us.
Gotcha. Yeah, I noticed you had a new bass player. That's why I asked that question. That's good. It sounds like he's working out well, too, when I heard you up at the Hartford Fest.
Well, the one thing he's doing is working out, man, because I tell you what, we don't ask a light load from the people that play with us. It's 100 different songs, 100 different notes. I know you just listen to Always Down. That's a confusing song, man.
Yeah, but, he works hard to get his $13. Works hard to get his $13 a night. That's good, man. The life of a musician. So,
it is, man.
Well, you have been doing a lot. Like I said, I saw you up at the Hartford Festival. You've been doing a lot this year so far. Tell us what you've been doing since this is the first time you've really called in. What have you been doing the last year or so as far as with the band?
The last year or so, we've really we just released a new album. It's called Frontier, and we've been basically going around playing some tunes off of that, and basically promoting the album. It's a little bit new. It took us a long time to record it, man, and the reason for that is because we'd fallen out of all these great studios that we worked with throughout the years. Just wonderful people we've worked with. But it was very, very expensive and very, very time-consuming and very, very hard to work with and to get a finished product that everyone could agree with.
Right.
So basically, instead of throwing, $10,000 back into a studio for an album we didn't love, it's like, we'll just buy a studio for $10,000. We'll clear out a space. We'll cover up the walls. We'll do everything we can and just sit down there and work with it until it works. So what came out with it was Frontier. And that last song you listened to, Always Down, is, I think, track 6 on it, something like that.
Oh, So you got your own little studio there, eh?
Yeah. Well, the studio is the constituent of its parts. You see, once you buy the nice board and you buy the nice microphones and stuff like that, it kind of follows you around everywhere. So if you go to a live show, chances are you're listening to that same equipment.
Oh, gotcha. So you expecting anybody to come into the studio and do any recording once it gets up and running, or are you just going to keep this little private gem to yourselves?
Well, it's not so much a studio as it is the parts of the studio,
Gotcha.
I know that Chris Dollar has dabbled in the production side of things. He's got a project he's trying to work with right now, the Restless Legs String Band out of Lexington, Kentucky. He's trying to get in to get recorded, and I think they're going to cut an album sometime this year, probably be out on lot next year.
Wow, that's weird you say that, because Casey think it was about a year ago, gave me a CD of some Restless Leg String Band, and I was listening to it, and then I lost it, and then I found it the other day, and I just listened to that album yesterday, so I got a bunch of their songs stuck in my head.
They're great guys, man, and we knew them when let's see, about 2 years ago, and all they had was talent and hard work, but you know, still had a ways to go in terms of the sound they were searching for. You know what I mean?
Yes,
but
exactly.
Here, 2 years later, they just we swapped sets with them up at Good Times, Good People again out of Brown County, Indiana. And my God, do those guys sound good? Like they're just they're on something else now. So if you haven't listened to them for a while, I recommend checking out the Restless Leg String Band out of Lexington, Kentucky. That's what I'll tell everyone.
Yeah, definitely. I have a Restless Leg String Band tie-dye T-shirt and wear that around myself. Had it up at the Dark Star Jubilee when I was up there. So you guys got a new album out. These people that heard your music on The Greatest Story Ever Told, if they like it, where could they pick up this new album?
You can pick it up on newoldcavalry.com. You can, what I always recommend for people that like the music is to go to Internet Archives. We've got every show. My God, we've got shows stretching back so long, I wish you don't listen to the ones that happened so long ago. Listen to the current ones, because, my God, there's a bunch up there. Free music up for grabs. I would sure hate for anyone to pay for music here in this day and age. I know that I don't,
right.
You know.
Yeah, I was a big Internet Archive guy before the Grateful Dead put the clamp down on it. That's why I got all these, killer Betty boards and first-gen soundboards and all that stuff, is because, back in the good old days, Kitty, you could download those for free all night long.
That's what it is. It really bothers me when musicians talk about having to pay for music. Well, like, we created it, so people should have to get out there and pay it. If they want to hear it, they should buy the album.
Right.
And to that, I say good riddance, man, because that die has already been cast. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon, he knew there was no going back.
Right.
And here we are in 2015, and the Internet's certainly not going to slow down. It's certainly not going to change gears. You've got to make your stuff available. So get out there on Internet Archives, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Type in New Old Cavalry. If you like what you hear, hit like, hit subscribe, do whatever you want, man, because it's about the music. It ain't about money. Never has been.
There you go.
Don't have it.
Yeah. Yeah, I will vouch for that. I did not see them driving Porsches and Maseratis when I saw them, so yeah, they're not driving around like fat cats in the bluegrass scene.
Not yet, man. We'll see, man.
That's right. You're like, if I get the money, I'm buying a Ferrari.
Damn Avett Brothers.
So looking back,
Mumford money. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you guys have played a lot of festivals. You got the albums coming out. You have any bigger gigs coming up the rest of this year?
Well, let's see. This next weekend, we're going to be up in around Valparaiso, Indiana. We're going to be playing at Browntown, which is a festival put on by Chester Brown. We've got 2 more gigs coming up at Terrapin this year. And again, if you haven't been to Terrapin Farms down by ways of Lexington, it's I forget the name of the small backwoods
Harrodsburg, Kentucky.
Harrodsburg.
Yes.
Yeah, go down to Terrapin. We'll be playing both at Family Reunion and Harvest. And those are always our favorites,
Yeah, I've been going down there twice a year since 2009, I believe.
Yeah, worst places to go, man.
Yeah, it's really fun, really enjoyable. We actually saw Pete and Brenda up at the John Hartford Fest, so small world.
I tell you what, if you think that you're at a good party and you look around and you don't see Pete there, man, you ain't at a good party.
You have a valid point there. So, in addition to that, anything big coming up later on this year in the last 6 months?
Well, basically, we got our whole tour schedule up on the line.
Gotcha.
We're doing a lot of festivals. But what we've been doing recently in support of local music, which specifically is interest of ours, is going and headlining small festivals instead of playing, larger festivals at 2 in the afternoon. Yeah. We've always been more keen to playing at midnight at festivals with 50 to 100 people. So even if you don't like us, and even if you don't want to go see us, or you can't afford to go see us at one of these places, check out the festivals that are happening around you, because we're coming to a cornfield near you sometime soon.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been going to festivals, a lot of festivals, anywhere from, we'll say, 6 to a dozen a year for a long time. And, you know, I have a rule. I don't go to any big fest, man. I mean, I try to stay small because you get to see a lot more of the music, and you get to see a lot of good music. And I just don't like crowds, to be honest with you, man. I think those smaller fests, I mean, I actually went to a festival last summer where, if you count the people in attendance, the people who threw the festival, and the musicians, there was a total of about 34 people there.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it was nice. Don't get me wrong. It was a kicking, rocking time. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, that was a little small.
Yeah, it's good. You know, and the small festival we ever been to. Let's see, from T's Daydream up in Indianapolis. If you know, if anybody listening knows,
yes.
They threw a festival one, and I swear that the only people in attendance were us, the Twin Cats, and like 3 other people. And you know what happened? We had a great party, man. It was a good time. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Anyway, the moral story is that yeah, I understand. It's an economy. People got to make money. Got to get people out to the festivals. You got to do stuff, and certainly the end goal for most of these festivals is to be a very lucrative thing.
Right.
Good times, good people. Where we just played at just sold out, and good for them. And congratulations to Derek Howard, because he did it.
Right.
You know? John Hartford Fest 4 years ago, there were about, I don't know numbers, but probably about 150 people there, you know?
Right.
There was no one. And this year, they outsold the pre-sale tickets by 50-75%.
Yeah,
so
it was busy.
About music, live music struggling, I don't know what they're talking about, because it's getting bigger and bigger. Of course, at a certain point, there's going to be some entropy there. You know, like things are going to, there's going to be the undesirable element moving in, and the hustling, drugs, the
bad stuff,
the pinching of stuff. But anyway. Well, yeah,
that's
the whole thing is, check out small music festivals, because we're playing at lots of them. We're playing at Ho Fest in Indiana and Spencer. We're playing at Super Moon down in Whitesburg, Kentucky. We're playing lots of small stuff. Grassroots, because that's where it's at. That's where we've always been, man.
Well, and I have the most fun at those fests. And when you look at your ticket price and divide it by the number of bands, you really just, and throw in camping on top of that, you really kind of look at it as a week. I look at it, it's almost a weekend of camping with free music. I mean,
exactly.
You just get a really, I mean, you're going to pay, but that much anyway if you go camping in any state park or campground. So you might as well throw in, 30 to 100 bands. So
exactly, you go to a hotel room. You know what I mean? You spend 3 days in a hotel room. It costs more than a lot of the best festivals I've ever been to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's smaller. You get to meet the people, sense of community, what have you.
So you guys have been together for a couple years. You have your sound down now. You're on cruise control with the new bass player. What do you think, if someone twisted your proverbial rubber arm, how would you describe your sound in just kind of one short sentence?
Well, it used to be bluegrass,
right?
But now, as it gets on, I think we all knew this from the beginning, man. But it's getting to the point where it's more Americana than anything. We're playing more like funky tunes. We're playing more country music. We're playing stuff like this and that. So I guess, and all this comes back to one specific influence that was never satisfied with the sound, but kept looking, and that, of course, is the Grateful Dead.
There you go.
From where you get your moniker, But, so right now, I'd say we're more in the Americana spin of it. But, who knows? The bluegrass is still fun.
Right, you got bluegrass running through your veins, but putting on an Americana skin for the time being, eh?
Yeah, and we'll never have a drummer. We'll never do any of that stuff that some bands do. But it's all about finding that sound. It's different for every venue, every night. We don't, just like the Grateful Dead, man. We don't anticipate there being no mistakes.
Right.
You know what I mean? We want to get out there and mess it up. Find what song is absolutely perfect for that moment and play it. Maybe that sound like lofty aspirations. But hell, man, it's the only thing I got.
Well, that's a valid point, man. I mean, a lot of guys, when they're out there playing, like you said, they're playing for the moment, trying to get, the mood elevated, get the crowd going. And, when you're listening, I'm not a musician, I don't play, but I interview a lot of musicians, have a lot of musicians in here, and that's kind of what they strive to do every live performance, is they try to tap into this intangible energy that flows between the crowd and the musicians and everything, and it's this weird synergy that gets them all elevated.
Yeah, it's, I don't want to sound weird, but it's not about the musicians and the crowd and the energy they feel. Like, that's certainly a huge part of it. But every time I'm going through the archives and I listen to the Dead play like this beautiful 12-minute long Stella Blue, I'm just thinking about all the schmoes who went to the bathroom during it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, the fact that everything is live and everything is recorded makes it so it's the energy of the room that night that's preserved in a little crystal of amber for all time. And it's about feeling the energy for everyone and not just necessarily the hoots and hollers, because hoots and hollers are cheap.
Right.
We're going for cats.
Well, yeah, and yeah, exactly. And when I look back at all the Grateful Dead shows I went to, I remember the shows and having a really good time and this and that. But then I listen to them nowadays, I'm like, because I've got over 1,000 bootlegs, I'm like, yeah, that was a mediocre show at best, or man, they really screwed up Terrapin, or something like that. But like you said, at the time when it's live and you're there and everything's going on around you and it's a circus, and yeah, it's way different.
Yeah, so it's both feeling the crowd and knowing what they want, because it certainly wouldn't happen without the crowd. It'd just be, we played on 100,000 front porches, and it's certainly better to have a crowd of interested people.
Yeah.
But, at a certain point, if you're not pushing and pulling people's expectations, if you're not playing those slow songs, if you're not playing those waltzes, if you're not, playing those Stagger Lees, especially like the late 80s Stagger Lees that are like really weird and slow and, a sing-a-songy harpsichord, then how are you going to appreciate the resolve? There's only two things that ever happen in music, man, and it's tension and resolve. Every single aspect of music goes to further illustrate that point.
Right.
Because there's notes that are leading to a note, and there's the note that it hits on. So that extends both from the solo, which Jerry was king at,
right,
to the song list, you know what I mean, and what you play. And even throughout the years, would the late 70s Dead have been as beautiful as they were if it wasn't for all those, like, 72, 73, 74 Americana shows that were, them just, like, beating Big River into the ground? Would really Terrapin have been as beautiful if it weren't for that? I don't know. I don't have these answers.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, though, man. That's a good point. I mean, I play a lot in the last couple weeks. Been playing a lot of the 79, specifically Grateful Dead, because, there's just eras that, I haven't really gotten into, 79 being one of them, and I'm starting to get into it, and I'm really liking it. So do you have a favorite era that the Grateful Dead played?
Well, okay. It's a complicated question.
That's a loaded question. I agree.
I think I can say I really like 72, and especially like the summer of 72. And the reason for that is because they weren't trying to be this great band at that point. They had just experienced some mild success, and they were getting around and they were doing stuff. Especially like going over to Europe and having like seeing how all that stripped down was one thing, and of course, the 100 rock and roll tunes, boogie woogie, doing all that stuff. But then you get like this great stuff that falls out through it, like the once in a lifetime stuff that you get from like 72, especially like June 70, which is like Peg singing like Two Souls and Communion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I just played that last week.
Perfect, man. So then you know what I'm talking about. And it's about that tension and release. And it's like, when you play a boogie woogie at 180 beats a minute, it needs to be that, breath in between. And 72 was when they first started tapping into that kind of, well, we'll just make morning dew as slow as it needs to be. We'll figure it out, man. But like, we'll start it really, 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 really slow.
Right. Yep.
But come 78, come 77, even like the little bit they did in 76, it's still like those started to become parlor tricks. You know what I mean? But in 72, it's like exploring, and that's kind of how I feel the new Cavalry has been with this rock and roll stuff. And it's like, we don't honestly anticipate getting weird or spacey with stuff. It just kind of happened. And that's how like 72 with the Dead was. You know what I mean? Like, we're just figuring out, oh shit, it's going into Dark Star, man. Whatever, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was a very, well, in addition to, jammy, like you said, they'll just play darn near anything. They were experimenting with, they had a lot of new songs they were bringing into their repertoire in that time, and it wasn't stuff that the Grateful Dead audience, the Deadheads per se, were hearing, had heard before, and it was really weird, like
exactly bathroom bricks.
Right, yeah. I mean, it was kind of weird, and Pigpen was on the wane, and he really wasn't doing a whole heck of a lot, so they kind of stretched their legs on the spacey stuff, and like Ramble on Rose and all that stuff, say, like from Europe 72, that new, into the new rotation. A lot of guys, the first time they heard the stuff, didn't like it, but now they become classics. So, yeah.
Tunes like Black Peter and like High Times and shit like that,
Yeah, the ballads.
Where it's just, and it's ballady, and it's really, really ballady.
Right.
But there's content in there. It's not just a slow song. And they're like, really like, hey, I get it. Everybody came here for the party and stuff. Like, listen to this, and your ears will be rewarded if you pair it all away and listen. And that, it simply wasn't the same come like the 77, 78, 79, like,
right,
Wild West tour, you know what I mean?
The guys were
Bill.
Well, and the guys, were getting, they just hopped back on the road in 76, and to be a little honest, it seems like by 79, everybody was into a lot of different heavier things, and they're kind of foot dragging there at late 79. They were kind of, I don't know, just kind of did a little transition.
Donna. Yeah, Keith and Donna being weird.
Right.
Donna dragging her rocking chair all over the country. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Getting fights, and I think Bill, I don't know who it was, but they said that when Donna would go crazy in these hotel rooms and trash them, made Keith Richards look like a baby. So anyway, I got just two quick more questions for you. I kept you like twice as long as I said I would, so I apologize for that. You have any do you have any good causes? Any shout outs you'd like to mention on the air?
Well, all kinds of them, man. Off the top of my head, we already talked about Pete and Brenda down at Terrapin. That's a good place to start. Go down to Terrapin. That's a lot of fun. You talked about it, the Funk Max's place. I know Travis Marks is listening somewhere, so props to him. He changed the world for me, at least.
Great.
All the people that kept us up and floating throughout the years, people that come to shows, especially in Bloomington, the Hangar on, man, because it's what it is. Right. I like to think. We talked about the Restless Flag String Band. They're killing it down there.
Oh yeah.
Talk about the local guys. Talk about Hammer and Hatchet, White Lightning Boys and stuff. Are doing it down in Indiana, keeping Indiana weird, doing Indiana stuff with it. Flatland Harmony up in Indianapolis doing the same thing.
Oh yeah. Like those guys too. Like those guys. So go ahead, man.
No, hey, you keep me talking, I'll keep on talking.
Okay.
Man, but that's a good place to stop as any.
Okay, one last question for you, man, then I'll let you roll off here since I've kept you almost 3 times as long as I said I would. What's your favorite Grateful Dead song?
You want to know my favorite Grateful Dead song?
Yeah, you need to. You don't have to pick one, but yeah, everyone usually does.
Crazy Fingers.
Crazy Fingers? Well, I don't know if I've had a Crazy Fingers yet. Okay, well, that's a good one, man. I like that tune. You got to
listen to it in the sensitive hours in the morning. Because it sounds like an odd mess of things that are bouncing around and jazzing to it. This is scary, finding out how to lead with chords and doing, vocal leading with this stuff. And it's just so wonderful. And I know it sounds like a frustrated mess when you hear it in the middle of your busy day. But in the sensitive, tender hours of the morning, put on the Crazy Fingers. and think of how hard they work to make that sound just that way, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah,
it does have kind of
my favorite.
Huh. Well, excellent, man. It does kind of have that weird, odd jaunt to it that I find enjoyable, for sure.
Hey, right in that same wheelhouse is like doing that rag and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Tunes that I found wonderful. And also, of course, and we talked about the Grateful Dead here for a long time, but man, I don't even listen to the Grateful Dead that much anymore, man. I listen to like Legion of Mary. I listen to like Jerry Ben. That's like what I listen to on my day off.
David and the Dorks and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's good, man. I appreciate Jerry
the
too.
Foundation and Legion, yeah.
Well, Alex, I appreciate you calling in, man. I will let you go. Thank you, Alex Cavalry of New Old Cavalry, for joining Old Ramblin' Rob here on the Greatest Ever Story Ever Told. You can check New Old Cavalry out on Facebook and also on the website. Get some info for them. And I hope you guys have good luck with things and hope to hear from you soon, brother.
Hey, my pleasure, man. What a great program.
All right. Take care, man.
Have a good day.
All right. Peace, brother. All right, well, that was old Alex Cavalry there from New Old Cavalry. Great band there. And you can tell from talking to him, a guy who really, really loves music. Okay, well, let's get on with a little more music here. And then I'm going to come back with a little more yakking. Here's one of those tunes that I think Alex was talking about. One of those tunes from 1979, Uptown Theater, Chicago, Illinois, December 5th. One of those slow tunes that kind of get you started in the morning. So we're going to start this right now. You're listening to 88.3 FM, WAIF, what radio was meant to be.
Wow, it's like Woodstock, only with advertisements everywhere and tons of security guards.
We're going to beg your indulgence and do another semi-slow song, but it won't stay slow forever.
Well, maybe I was wrong.
on a tin roof, dogs in a pile, nothing left to do but smile, smile, smile. like a steam locomotive rolling down the track. He's gone, gone, and nothing's gonna bring him back. He's gone. Nothing's gonna bring him back. Ooh, nothing's gonna bring him back. Ooh, nothing's gonna bring him back.
Well, it's gone fucker.
Nothing's gonna bring him back. But he's gone.
Well, it's gone.
Ooh, yeah. Nothing's gonna bring him back.
Nothing's gonna bring him back, no.
Ooh, nothing's gonna bring him back.
Nothing's gonna bring him back.
Yeah. Ooh, nothing's gonna bring him back. 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 Ooh, nothing's gonna bring him back.
want to hear rockabilly, reggae, classical poetry, disco, doom metal, novelty, and all other types of genres? Well, you can tune into the Great Pacific Garbage Patch with your host, Ching Bong Louie. Think Judge Louie now. And John, as they bring you music of the teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the new millennium. And, dare I say, beyond. Let your hair hang down low and have your head up in the clouds on Thursdays from 10 to midnight here on WAIF 88.3 FM. Also check them out online. They have a website, gpgradio.wordpress.com. Great Pacific Garbage Patch. They're next year. And speaking of next, got a couple important things to share with you guys.
I was just 42 years old when a mammogram helped find my breast cancer and save my life. Now, my mission is helping other women realize the importance of annual mammograms. I think about the many things I might have missed if I had not kept that appointment, but most of all, the family I would have left behind. Getting that mammogram was one of the best decisions I have ever made. Regardless of what you've heard, breast cancer experts recommend women start getting mammograms at age 40 and continue every year, even if you don't have a family history of the disease. The majority of women diagnosed with breast cancer in their 40s have no family history or other factors that make them at higher risk. Mammograms can catch cancer early when it's most treatable and have helped lower the breast cancer death rate by nearly a third since 1990. Please talk to your doctor about a mammogram today.
Mammography saves lives. One of them may be yours. Visit mammography-saves-lives.org.
Recent increases in smuggling are putting American food sources at risk. People and businesses are smuggling live birds and poultry products to sell online, in specialty groceries or outdoor markets. They may think they are simply catering to their customers' tastes. What they are really importing is trouble. Importing outside USDA safeguards is not only illegal, it threatens American food production. Smuggled poultry products or smuggled birds can bring in diseases, such as exotic Newcastle disease or avian influenza, bird flu, into the U.S. We need your help to make sure that what is grown and raised here stays safe from foreign pests and disease. If you suspect a business is importing or selling illegal birds or poultry products, call the Agriculture Hotline at 1-800-877-3835. You can make an anonymous report or find out exactly which products are prohibited. America's food supply is too important to let smugglers put it at risk. Report smuggled birds and poultry products.
A message from the United States Department of Agriculture.
Do it, people. Okay, we're going to be featuring a couple acts here. We got, local music, regional acts that are, aplenty here on The Greatest Story Ever Told. We're going to be featuring some of those that I'm going to hopefully check out this weekend. But Nelson Ledges Quarry Park, the Classic Fest, great little venue, one of our favorites to go up to with the beach and the quarry lake and the cool water and the cooler people. Good times and great friends. So definitely want to get into this. It's kind of a different, it's not jam-centric, not Grateful Dead, kind of a different thing. Classic Fest, featuring a lot of great tribute bands, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Jethro Tull, Yes, Janis Joplin, a lot of good acts that are being tributed. But in case you guys missed it, I know you didn't because you're all hardcore Deadheads. Kidding. In case you missed it, today in Grateful Dead history, it was kind of a weird transitional period. Played a little bit, usually play a little bit for a couple weeks, and then they'll take some time off and then just stretch it out for the early midsummer tour. But in 1966, the Avalon Ballroom, that was one of those real famous shows, The Quick and the Dead, with Quicksilver Messenger Service and the Dead playing the same bill. 1967, the Cafe Au Go-Go up in New York City. Don't really have any good copies of that show, but they didn't play real well out there. 1969, the California Hall, San Francisco. That was one of those weird shows, sans Pigpen. It was called Bobby, Ace, and His Cards from the Bottom of the Deck, technically, not the Grateful Dead. 1976, the Boston Music Hall, Boston. And 1991, Charlotte Coliseum, North Carolina. 1992, Knickerbocker Arena up in Albany, New York. And in 1993, the Grateful Dead played on today's date at Buckeye Lake in Hebron, Ohio, right at the road. You guys missed a really good Jordan's Jam earlier this night, about an hour ago, a little Shakedown Street. let's get on with some of those bands here. We're running out of time. Had a nice interview with Alex Cavalry. Going to get on with some new old Cavalry probably a little later in the show. But we do have a lot of good Grateful Dead coming up. And like I said, searched on the internet, found a couple bands that I liked from the lineup as far as the Classic Fest lineup. We do have one of those bands now. I really liked this band when I saw them live, Rush. If you guys haven't seen Rush, they're hot. But this is actually a band called Limelight. But they are playing up at Nelson Ledges. I think I saw them 2 years ago, and they sound a remarkable amount. I mean, as far as Geddy Lee goes, I always thought he was really tough to imitate, but yeah, it does a really good job. I don't know if it's tight leather pants or what, but...
Dream for those who wish to see.
Little Kashmir there. That was a Led Zeppelin cover. Over the Hills and Far Away, of course. You're listening to 88.3. Running out of time. I'm going to try to squeeze a couple more tracks from the exciting fest I'm going to up at Nelson Ledges, the Classic Fest. Squeeze a couple more of those tracks in. There's a lot of good bands up there. Didn't really find the Pink Floyd tribute band I really enjoyed when I saw them, but I couldn't really find anything that was really a good enough quality, but that's okay. I do like Neil Young, and great little band called Ragged Glory is going to be up there. And they're doing one of my favorite Neil Young tunes.
our perfect moment. Yeah, I wanna love you, but I get so blown
The original rock and roll cantankerous SOB, Neil Young being covered there, Ragged Glory, Like a Hurricane. Going to be checking them out up at Nelson Ledges Quarry Park. And it was kind of great watching that video where there wasn't anybody dancing when they started playing at all, but by the time they were done, well, everybody was up there. So, all right, well, let's get on with some more of those bands. Running out of time here. Time keeps ticking away. Well. Let's do a little number here by Going for the One. Everyone likes Yes. little bit of Going for the One there. A great little Yes tribute band. Cranking out some Yes, of course. You guys, we only got a couple minutes left. Stick around here in just a couple minutes for the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. I'm sure John and Rob have all kinds of interesting music to share with you. And speaking of interesting music to share with you, Minstrel in the Gallery, yeah, the Jethro Tull tribute band, is coming up next.
The Minstrel in the Gallery, down upon the sliding he investigated the first between the old man's he made a song and oblique suggestions and deep whiskey. He poured the pumpkin eater, steady coming and panadillas, freshly baked on country cheeses, celery and tonics rubbing, it had laid mental fingers, belly warming and starving on the parts they played.
Well, that was a little Minstrel in the Gallery, all right. Not who I thought it was, but yeah, that wasn't Minstrel in the Gallery. But yeah, you never know. Sometimes my quick clicks get me in trouble. That was a pretty good version. That was a Czechoslovakian band, actually. Oh, well. Yeah, well. Let's get on with a little more music here. You guys ever have one of those days? You know, like one of those days like this?
I got something to say. I killed your baby today. Doesn't matter much to me as long as it's dead. I got something to say. I raped your mother today. Doesn't matter much to me as long as she's free. Rule of the day, just waiting for your grave. Don't waste that one last
marijuana.
Well, I guess he didn't like you after all. He just smelled your narcotics. Book 'em, boys.
Hold on, Chief. It might be medicinal.
Oh, yeah, medicinal. Without it, I could go even blinder. Right?
I will accept nothing less than mahogany.
There is no substitute for Diana Ross.
No.
You guys better check out at Stanley's this weekend. Maui Pranksters making a triumphant comeback before they show up from a show next month. You're gonna love them. Stick around for the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's time to get weird with Phil and Ned. Who else?
Here we are. I'm Hadley, internal medicine, and Dr. Lafong, communicable diseases, Dr. Boyer, bacteriology, and Dr. Stinson, Marston, and Gill of the Northampton Trauma Institute, and Dr. Imhouse of the Zurich Relief Fund. These are our newly arrived surgeons, Drs. Trowbridge and Greenbaum. Doctor? 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 Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor? Doctor? Doctor. 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 Doctor.
Doctor?
Doctor.
Doctor?
Doctor. 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 And doctor. Well, we miss anyone?